Convidamos para moderar este painel Luiz Augusto de Souza Ferreira, presidente da Agência Brasileira de Desenvolvimento Industrial, ABDI. Como palestrantes, convidamos Byung-Gil Yu, presidente do Instituto Coreano para Economia Industrial e Comércio. Convidamos também Rainer Stark, diretor da Divisão de Criação de Produtos Virtuais do Instituto Alemão Fraunhofer IPK. Convidamos a senhora Karin Mayer-Rubinstein, presidente e CEO da IAT, Organização de Indústrias Tecnológicas Avançadas de Israel. Convidamos Lynne McGregor, especialista em manufatura de alto valor agregado na instituição Innovate UK. Convidamos também Suresh Kannan, membro do consórcio de internet industrial e presidente da DigiBlitz. Também fará parte deste painel Yutaka Manchu, secretário-geral adjunto do Conselho de Revolução Robótica do Japão e especialista em Internet das Coisas Industrial. Convidamos também Rafael Moreira, assessor especial para a Indústria 4.0 do Ministério da Indústria, Comércio Exterior e Serviços. Senhoras e senhores, antes de iniciarmos este próximo painel, daremos início à assinatura do Memorando de Entendimento entre a ABDI, Agência Brasileira de Desenvolvimento Industrial, e a Israel Advanced Technology Industries, Organização de Indústrias Tecnológicas Avançadas de Israel. Este memorando de cooperação tem a finalidade de criar vantagens competitivas para o desenvolvimento de negociações internacionais entre Brasil e Israel, além de oportunidades de acesso à pesquisa e desenvolvimento de novas tecnologias. Convidamos para que assinem o memorando Luiz Augusto de Souza Ferreira, presidente da ABDI, assina o memorando a senhora Karin Mayer-Rubinstein, presidente e CEO da IAT. Com a palavra, o moderador deste painel, Luiz Augusto de Souza Ferreira.
Boa tarde a todos. Já boa tarde? Já boa tarde. Primeiro, é um prazer imenso estar aqui. Já gostaria de dizer que nós teríamos várias reprovações em pitch pelo tempo do último painel. Chamaremos o Tony depois, até porque estamos aqui com representantes da pontualidade mundial nessa mesa. Eu gostaria, esse é um painel muito importante, porque a ABDI ela tem, nesses últimos meses, tentado se aproximar globalmente dessas agências e desses institutos incríveis que estão aqui na mesa, para que nós possamos ter um intercâmbio maior, não só dos nossos profissionais, mas também das políticas que estão acontecendo nos outros países e tentar aproximar o Brasil dessa realidade. Eles estão sendo muito receptivos com a gente. Fazer agora um agradecimento muito especial a Byung-Gil, que nos recebeu com tanto carinho na Coreia, num primeiro momento, e foi a primeira agência a assinar com a ABDI, a KIET, um memorando de entendimentos para que nós possamos fazer esse intercâmbio, não só de estudantes, mas também de profissionais da agência. Então, sem mais, para que vocês possam ter conhecimento sobre tudo isso que está acontecendo, eu gostaria já de chamar, até pela assinatura do primeiro protocolo, que a primeira apresentação fosse da senhora Rubinstein, por favor, que fizesse essa apresentação sobre o Instituto, a Organização de Indústrias Tecnológicas Avançadas de Israel.
So, hi everybody. I heard carefully all the other presentation until now, so I will try not to repeat myself. I will try to entertain you a little bit. And I'm just asking, before everything, I'm going to talk a little bit about Israel. So I'm just asking, how many of you have been in Israel at least one time? Okay, good. So I have a lot to say. So just to introduce myself, I'm Karin Meyer Rubinstein, and I am the CEO and the president of IATI, Israel Advanced Technology Industries, which is Israel's umbrella organization of all the high-tech and life science industries. We are a private, non-profit organization, and under our umbrella, there are 700 paying members, including most of the CEOs of the multinationals in Israel, of Google and Microsoft and all the rest. We have 300 of those. And then most of the venture capital funds and the incubators, the startup, the growth companies, the academia, the service providers, the municipalities, lawyers, accountants, banks, all the ecosystem which relate and which cares about innovation in Israel. And I'll elaborate it later on. So few figures about Israel. We'll go very fast about the information, and we will get to the main things in the end. So, okay, in Israel, there are around 5,000 startups. 600 new startups companies are established every year. But just bear in mind, there are also a few hundred of startups that are closed every year. So in Israel, there are more startup companies per capita than in any other place in the world. Just some information about the ecosystem in Israel. 15% of the GDP in Israel is derived from the high-tech industry. It's the highest contributor, of course, for the GDP. Almost 50% of the industrial export in Israel is from high-tech. So that means that, yes, we are a high-tech nation. We are completely dependent on high-tech in Israel. So if you look at the R&D as a percentage of the GDP in Israel, Israel is a world leader. We are number one in R&D as a percentage of GDP. It's about 4.2%. Just let's talk about investment and exit for a second in Israel. So in 2016, we saw $4.8 billion of investment in high-tech in Israel. In the first half of 2017, we saw $2.3 billion in investment in high-tech companies in Israel. Over $1 billion has been raised every quarter by Israeli startups since 2015. Every quarter, $1 billion. And before I'll talk about the venture capital history for a minute, I'll just say that out of this $4.8 billion that has been invested in 2016, 96% of the money is foreign money that has been invested in Israeli high-tech. That means that only 4% of the investment come from Israeli investors. So we appreciate the world who believes in us, especially America, especially China and Asia. But also, we have to make sure, and this is one of our challenges, we have to make sure to bring more money from the Israeli institutional investors, okay, in order for us not to be reliable so much on foreign money. So let's talk about the venture capital history for a second. So it's a known story, and everybody of you who read the Startup Nation, book that was written like a decade ago, and it was translated to Portuguese as well, knows that there was the YOSMA program, and the government supported the YOSMA program, and 10 new funds has been raised at $20 to $30 million in 1992. That is all the story. That is how it started. So 1 million people, Russian people, came to Israel, immigrated to Israel in 1992. 20% of the population, because Israel is only 8 million people in 21,000 square kilometers, by the way, very, very small. So 1 million people suddenly came in 1992, and there were very high-level people, a lot of professors and researchers and scientists. So the government initiated, with the pressure of the industry, the YOSMA fund, and suddenly we had 10 new funds. And then 2000, we saw already 120 VC funds Then there was a big decrease in 2012, not just in Israel, but all around the world. And today we have around 70 active venture capital funds. Most of them are very, very sophisticated. Not just for early stage startup, but for growth as well and for late stage as well. So you can look, the VC investment is a percentage of the GDP. And again, you can see Israel as a leader. 2016, 2017, let's go move for a minute to the exit side. Not until now we talked about the investment side. Let's talk about the exit side for a minute. So you can look about some of the exit I put here. Mobileye was just sold to $15 billion to Intel. There was a few other exits of $30 million, $2 billion, and Argus in the automotive industry. Israeli startup just was sold to Continental almost for $500 million, and those are only some of the exits that we saw in lately. Again, I talked about the high tech, but 50% of the industry is life science. It's not just high tech. So it's life science. That means it's pharma, it's medical device, it's biotechnology. You can see also some of the exits that have been taken in 2016 and 17 in the life science side. The Kite Pharma is the biggest for $12 billion that we sold to a foreign company, and the others you can see as well. So yes, I mentioned the startup book, Nation book. So probably a lot of you are familiar with this book. It made very good PR to Israel, and I appreciate for this. But it was written a decade ago, and actually today, Israel is not a startup nation anymore. Excuse me? It's not a startup nation anymore. It's the innovation nation. It's not just a word, the innovation nation, because there are much more than only startups in Israel today. So let's see what we have than just startups in Israel. So growth companies. Until a few years ago, everybody in Israel say, oh, we don't have big companies. What can we do? We are looking at Europe. We are looking at the United States. We have to have also growth companies. So today we have around 50 growth companies. Growth companies are unicorns who worth $1 billion, and you can look at the names. We are very proud of them. Some of these companies in the right side already acquired a lot of Israeli startups, and they are all Israeli. And of course, we have around 300 R&D centers of multinational in Israel. These are just a smaller list of those. All of them, by the way, are listed and are members of the IATI, and we work very closely with their CEOs. So 300 multinationals in Israel today. You can see how much it grew, the multinational in Israel. I'm going very fast. Just to say, more than 10% of the employment in Israel is in high tech. And 50% of those employees are employed by the multinational in Israel, which is an unbelievable number. This is how I see the ecosystem in Israel. I will take a few more minutes if it's okay with you. Okay, just for a few minutes because we're getting to the main part. Thank you. So this is, in my opinion, this is how the ecosystem in Israel looks. Now, I put the companies in the middle, as you can see, okay, and everything surrounding this are supporting or should support the growth of those companies, the startup, the multinationals, the growth companies. So, of course, we have the military, and everybody knows that everybody should do the military service in Israel, and we have a lot of technology units, and a lot of people are coming out of those technology units. We will not talk about it now because it's a different lecture that I can give, but take the academia and the tech transfer companies who commercialize the IP from the academia to the private sector, okay? Take the government and the support of the government with the grants, and with the special program that they have, okay? Take the investment bank and the venture capital. And also, please consider the very good infrastructure, the legal, the banking, and the accounting infrastructure in Israel. So we have very good legal documentation and accounting and banking financing. Okay, everything is in English in Israel. Everything is written in English. You know, everything is well prepared. You don't have to prepare everything from scratch again. So it's easy to work like that. There are a few success factors for the success story of Israel. This is only a few things that I put here, but you know, everybody are talking about the entrepreneurial spirit. If you come to Israel, you will feel it immediately because there are thousands of young people, you know, and not just young people, just go on the street, you know, everybody are talking on the startup or the next idea or the next technology that they would like to invent. So there is a very special entrepreneurial spirit. I can take it offline with you if you want to talk about it later. It's very unique, and all the other success factors that I think they are contributed to the ecosystem in Israel. Made in Israel, some of the things that I don't know if you know, but all of those were made in Israel, including, and you know all of them, of course. The first industrial revolution, the Industry 4.0, I will not talk about it now because there was amazing presentation earlier that described this revolution. But you can see the first revolution, it's in Israel as well. Israel is one of the leaders of this Industry 4.0. And let's talk just for a minute about what's going on in Israel and the collaboration with the government and how we are going to promote and how we are going to make sure that this initiative will succeed. So Israel has made a national mission out of bringing innovation into traditional industries. Israel technology is integrated in traditional factory, both locally and around the world. So, few examples, look at the Israeli IoT sector. Okay, those are only some of the companies that you can find in IoT, and we divided them to subsector, of course, so you can have it all. There are many more startups in IoT. And by the way, there are some of the VCs are concentrating only in IoT today in Israel. One more example is the cybersecurity startups that also we divided them to subsectors, and they are part of this revolution. And then we can have the Israel automotive startup. So automotive is very, very strong in Israel. It starts from the multinational. You can see all the big names in Israel, like Mercedes, like BMW, like Ford, like Tata. Really, everybody are searching for the next technology now in Israel and trying to develop their next technology, disruptive technology in Israel. So just some of the startups in the automotive, and not just the startup, but also bigger companies that are in Israel. Israel Innovation Authority. Okay, so the Israel Innovation Authority replaces the chief scientist. It's part of it's a government. It's a governmental entity. It's part of the economy and the finance ministry. And the Israel Innovation Authority, who we work very close with, okay, because we are the private sector. I represent the private sector. We are the voice of the industry, but we cannot work alone. So we work with the government all the time. The Israel Innovation Authority shared the risk with the private sector. And look, so they have 6 segments that they are working on, okay? And it's a new authority. And the advanced manufacture, of course, is one of the biggest one, and they are giving a lot of thought of how to make the advanced manufacturing segments in the government one of the leading segments. As I said, the IATI is the umbrella organization of the high-tech industry. It's the voice of the tech industry, okay? And we have, under our umbrella, you can see all the sectors that we have, and we are a very small platform, okay? I speak a lot, and I make a lot of noise, but actually, we are only a very small platform, okay? A private one, and we are funded only by our members, and not by the government, and not by donation or contributions, only by our members. And our role is to synchronize and integrate this ecosystem to work together, because you know, we can have a very good academia, and you can have very good government to do a lot of things, and we can have very good startups, and we can have best military, but the integration of all of this, I think this is the secret and the main source or the main reason for the success of this Israeli ecosystem. We know how to work together. The IATI integrate and synchronize the activity. The IATI is bringing the initiation from the private sector to the government. You know, sometimes we don't talk in the same language, as you know. So we integrate the activities, and we're working fast. We make sure that the government will work fast. We make sure to bring the newest thing to the table of the government. Our members, the challenges and the solution. I'll just say one word about the challenges, and it's important. We have a great ecosystem, but we have a lot of challenges as well. And the biggest challenges of Israel is that we don't have enough engineers. Human resource, and we are lack of human resource in Israel. We are lack of 10,000 engineers in Israel, and we have to find them somewhere. So we are working long-term to bring children to Cyber Olympics, to the biggest Cyber Olympics, to work together. And we have like a special project with the government, how to make children go to study STEM education. And we have the short term that we take those amazing people who are very talented but didn't want to go to technology. They say, oh, I will study philosophy, I will study psychology, and they are really, really talented. They have very high SATs. So we take them, we do like training for 4 to 6 months. We train them and we put them into the high tech. Okay, so this is another initiative that a big one that we do with the government. And this is all the government authorities that we work with. Okay, so it's starting from the Prime Minister, it goes to the finance, it goes to the economy ministry, it goes to the education ministry, of course, and all the other, and you can see all the names, tax authorities, all over. Just one word. This is the sector that we are representing. A lot of sectors, you know, most of it, it's coming from everywhere because this is how we work. It's really coming from everywhere. And the traditional industry is one of the sectors that we are putting a lot of efforts in. I would like to thank you for coming here. Brazil, I came yesterday, but I learned a lot since yesterday. Brazil was very nice to me. I hope we can be nice to you as well. We can share best practices to work together and to bring for our knowledge so you will have a thriving ecosystem of innovation. Thank you very much.